Today is World Mental Health Day, and Promises to Kids is working to help kids in foster care take care of their mental and emotional well-being. The Director of Programs, Rashida Elimu, joins me now to talk more about their efforts. Rashida, so good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm glad we're talking about our youth. They are faced with so many challenges, but we're talking about foster youth, and you were telling me Promise to Kids is finding that foster youth is more prone to mental health issues and challenges. Tell us why.
Well, one, they're being pulled into the foster care system. So youth come into the foster care system because of abuse and neglect. So imagine being ripped from your home, imagine suffering great abuse or your parent ignoring you and not engaging with you, and then getting thrust into a system. And we all know kids were meant to be raised in a family with love and hope, and being thrust into a system that sometimes doesn't support you in all the ways that you need to be supported, which makes places like Promises to Kids so important to help them.
And how is Promise to Kids bringing awareness for this mental health day for the foster youth?
I think the pandemic taught us that we need to get into a hands-on approach for our foster youth. We have recently hired 2 therapists to work with our young people in our Guardian Scholars program, giving really good focus in how do we get adults mental health support immediately. We also have a clinical services manager who's done a lot of work to train our direct service team, so when they're coming out, they know how to ask the questions, the hard questions that for all of us are sometimes really hard to ask when you're talking about suicidal ideation and things like that.
I'm a little familiar with Promise to Kids. I understand it's located at Polinsky Center in Kearney Mesa. It's a nonprofit, been around for around 40 years.
Yes.
How does a child get to Polinsky Center or Promises to Kids?
So one of our first big initiatives is we collaborated with the county. We raised $12 million to build the A.B. and Jesse Polinsky Children's Center here in Kearney Mesa. Once we built that, we deeded it back over to the county. So the day-to-day operations is the county, but we do a number of services that support not only young people at Polinsky, but also throughout the entire county. Here in San Diego, the Child and Family Wellbeing Department covers the entire county, and Promises to Kids has worked hard to make sure the entire county is supported. So once a young person comes into foster care, they can come to us in a number of ways. I think the first stop is usually our Something Special program, which is all the financial pieces from tutoring to prom tickets and things like that. We have our Camp Connects program that really looks at separated siblings, making sure they can keep that relationship. And then our largest direct service program is our Guardian Scholars program that really focuses on getting into the nitty-gritty to make sure our young people have all the things and all the tools necessary to get into post-secondary success.
And how can the community help? Are you looking for volunteers, mentors? Are you fundraising?
Yes, volunteers are a huge part of what we do. A lot of our programs really we couldn't do without our volunteers. When we're talking about mental health support and really getting our young people involved in the community, our mentors are such a big part of that. They help with their confidence and their excitement about the world around them. Additionally, you can always go onto our website to look at all of our volunteer opportunities. And then lastly, you can always give treasure. There's an opportunity for you to give financially on the website as well.
I'm glad you're talking about the importance of having a mentor. I know we're focusing on foster youth, but all youth. A lot of youth are struggling right now. Some don't have mentors.
Yes.
A lot of youth face challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic, having to be at home, work on computers, they're on their phones, they're on social media. There's a lot of pressure for our young youth. Just if you want to send a message to our viewers right now and the moms and dads out there, or a grandparent who is overseeing a young child, what would you say to them to kind of just build confidence in that child?
Don't do it alone. I think I'm a big believer in the statement, it takes a village to raise a child. I remember growing up, and there's some things that I'm always going to talk to my mom and dad about, but there's a couple side things that I needed my aunt and I needed her to talk about. So when you're looking at mentorship or an engagement, don't try to do it alone. Really engage the community and find other adults that can help support you, because the huge part about you want your young person to walk away with a community, not just you, but a community, and even that community can help you too.
All right, Rashida Elimu, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
On behalf of Promise to Kids, to talk about World Mental Health Day and just raising awareness for our foster youth. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Logan?
So thanks, Governor.